What's going on, people? Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV. Tottenham 3, Burnley 0 in Thomas Frank's first game, Tottenham's first game, Kudus' first game of the season and first competitive game in the Thomas Frank era. And it started off with 3 points and 3 goals and some unbelievable goals as well. Look, it wasn't from the off, the greatest performance. I thought Spurs came out the traps actually really well. First 10 minutes, got that goal. And then we kind of reverted into like a deep shape. We allowed Burnley a bit of encouragement. They couldn't get their goal. And then I think the second half told its own story and Spurs came out with a bit more aggression, got those goals and sealed off the game. But look, I think from a first kind of viewing of a competitive game for Thomas Frank, I was quite happy with it. I know it wasn't perfect and we were struggling to kind of build up from the back at times and progress the ball up the pitch, but you got to say there were some class performances in there.
Definitely. I think the first half wasn't great from Tottenham. I think we can all agree on that. I think it was a bit stodgy. We struggled to really build up the play. We got that early goal, which everyone was saying before the game would be vital, and it turned out to be quite important because if we didn't get that early goal and we were being asked all those questions of Burnley at 0-0 instead of 1-0 up, there would have been a different kind of anxiety, I think, within the stadium and watching the game. But obviously we got a really good opening goal, really lovely play from Kudus down the right hand side, cut it back to Rishi in a nice sweeping kind of finish into the corner, and you're thinking, all right, perfect start. This is going to be plain sailing, but I think Burnley really did come into it in the latter stages of that first half, and we were really struggling to assert ourselves in the game. We were spending a lot of time.
Majority of the first half, to be honest.
I think we were really. We're really struggling to basically progress the ball ahead of Romero, Van de Ven and Vicario. Where the only way we really did it was like Porro, long sweeping passes from the right-hand side, trying to get it into kind of Richarlison's feet, into Kudus to hold it up. But it was few and far between. We were really struggling to get any patterns of play going, really struggling to progress through the middle. Burnley were finding it too easy to keep us away from the penalty box. I think by the end of the half, Burnley had more touches in our box than we had in theirs. And I think it was a real struggle to assert ourselves in the game, create chances, dominate. But I did think second half, it changed. And I think second half, we definitely got a lot more joy, especially after going 2-0 up. It was a weird one. I felt like maybe for the first 10 minutes of that second half, both teams were maybe throwing a bit of caution to the wind. We were starting to create a few more moments, and then so did they as well. They created a really good opportunity.
Became a bit more of an open game, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think if that Jane Anthony chance goes in, we're probably talking about a different game. Luckily for us, Jane Anthony's shot kind of bounces into the ground and right to Vicario's hands. And then from our next attack, Vicario dubs his Hartman down the right-hand side, crosses it again with his right foot, and an unbelievable scissor kick from Richarlison with his second of the game. And I think at 2-0, everyone felt a lot more comfortable. And I actually felt at 2-0, we were much the better side after that.
Look, I think what tells the story of the game are the stats here, where in the first half, they had 10 shots on goal. We had 5. And their XG was 0.33, ours was 0.46. But in the second half, we had a 1.86 XG to their 0.76, and we had 11 shots and they had 4. So I think that does tell quite the story of the game, where we weren't really good enough in the first half, and it was the ball progression. It wasn't having a creator there, and I think Bergvall was growing in influence as the first half wore off. And I think Cuti Romero was making a number of mistakes trying to play out the back, and his passing was uncharacteristically poor today. Brennan Johnson wasn't getting too involved on the left-hand side, and Mohamed Kudus, as much as he had the assist in the first 10 minutes, in the first half, you've got to say that his best work came probably in our own half with his unbelievable defensive play. But in the second half, I think that was completely different. And also in the first half, Archie Gray wasn't really making himself known in the middle of the park. But I think that completely changed in the second half. Romero, I don't remember too many passing casualties from him. Archie Gray put in a much better display. Brennan Johnson was a threat, got his goal, and a brilliant goal at that. Lovely touch, lovely finish to slip it under Dubravka. And I think all the players that were kind of not performing well in the first half kind of showed themselves a lot in the second.
Yeah, and I think we became a lot more dominant, and I think Burnley found it a lot harder to kind of keep us at bay. And look, we know we got the superior quality players, and we know we just got to assert ourselves in the game. But I think to be honest, I don't think in the second half it was like we all of a sudden we were able to play through them, like through the middle and stuff. I just think we were finding more moments to get into the final third. I think Porro was getting a lot more involved down the right-hand side as well. And obviously, I think once we got that second goal, I think that made the whole difference. We got the second goal. I think everyone settled down. Burnley then really got to force the issue and really open up. And then all of a sudden, 2 very quickly became 3. And then the game was done. And then all of a sudden, Burnley didn't really have too much ambition to go forward. We were very settled in that with that third goal and made a few changes, got Solanke on. He was holding the ball up really impressively. He was getting a few shots on goal. We brought on Tel, Odebear, and I think we kind of saw out the game quite simply, and Burnley didn't seem to threaten. They kind of lost their any sort of momentum or encouragement that they were maybe getting at 1-0. So I think that second goal was really, really crucial, and it really helped Tottenham just growing confidence that this is going to be our day, this is going to be our win. And as soon as that second goal went in, I think you saw the whole team just settle down, and everyone kind of started playing, with a lot more confidence. Even with Brennan, you saw Brennan wasn't having a great game. He got his goal, really well taken goal after Sarr wins the ball. Well, more great hold-up play from Richarlison. Sarr wins the ball in the middle of the park, plays a lovely through ball to Brennan, takes one touch and slides it past the keeper. And I think you even saw him growing confidence as well after that goal went in, and we made it 3-0. So I think just a really accomplished performance.
Yeah, I think the 2 players that I was most impressed with, obviously Richarlison, which will come into a minute, but Pape Matar Sarr. Like, there were a few frustrating moments in the first half, but I think with Pape, he was involved in the first goal, winning the ball back and getting it to Kudus. He was involved in Brennan Johnson's goal as well, with a lovely ball through the lines for Brennan, which put Brennan in a lovely opportunity. But all the time, he's always looking to press. He's always looking to hassle, harry, win the ball back. He's carried on his form from pre-season into the season now, and that is music to all our ears, because Pape Matar Sarr in this form, and he took a step backwards last season, not going to lie. But I think if he can carry on this kind of form going into the season now, what a player we have in the middle of the park. And he's a player that a lot of people weren't saying, he could be the starting midfielder for us. But, you can't really take him out of the team with the way he's playing at this moment in time. So I'm very happy with Pape. And Richarlison, man, that was one of his best performances, if not his best performance in the Spurs shirt. Like, seriously, hold-up play, immaculate. His passing ability, immaculate. His finishing, immaculate. Everything about that performance warrants the highest amounts of praise. Like, we were watching the first goal, we're like, what the hell was that? That was an unbelievable finish on the half volley. And then that second finish, where the hell did that come from? What a goal. I mean, you look back at, was it last season or the season before where he got those 2 goals at Goodison Park? And you're thinking, it ain't getting better than that from Richarlison. Well, I think that second goal just topped it.
Yeah, phenomenal finish. It's something we have seen from him before, mainly from Brazil, but the guy has got that in his locker, an unbelievable scissor kick, and that finishing ability is something that we haven't seen enough of Richarlison, because we haven't seen enough on the pitch. But I completely agree with what you're saying. It was a phenomenal display from him from start to finish. He never stopped running as well, on top of all the things you were saying. And the guy gets goals. Since he's been on the pitch for Tottenham, when we've got him on the pitch, he has scored consistently. I think the stat was, before the season started, when it comes to goals per 90, he's up there with some of the top strikers. Unfortunately, the actual minutes in that per 90 is quite low, so I can't read as much into it as some of the other top strikers, but he still does score when he's playing. And today, start of the season, had a phenomenal performance against PSG, and today against Burnley, got the nod ahead of Solanke, who everyone obviously assumed would be starting the season, and he's absolutely grabbed his opportunity with both hands. He knows it's a big season for him, World Cup season, has both his last 2 seasons have really been plagued by injury since he's come to Tottenham, so he knows this is his moment now if he's going to be a Tottenham player for the foreseeable future. And I think you can see that in his performances. Obviously, he had a decent end to last season as well. And this was a phenomenal kind of throwing down of the gauntlet of him to say, I can be a starting striker. You can trust me this season. You want me to hold the ball? I can do that. You want me to chase people down and press? I can do that. You want me to finish first-time finishes when when you get the ball to me in the box? No chances, back to goal. He did everything you asked of him. And so the big question at the moment is, can we sell him? Not should we sell him with the way he's playing at the moment. Going into this summer, everyone assumed well, the reports are we're open to offers and all these different things. I'm just reading a report saying from Romano saying Richarlison's rejected many offers for him this summer, many proposals. Even going as of not long ago, there was a lot of talk of him leaving. But the way he's playing, he's starting at the moment. He got a couple of goals today. Can you see him leaving before the end of the window at this point?
Nah, I can't. I can't really, like, these last two performances I think have been a big eye opener, because before, like, he's had goals, but I've never seen that level of hold up play from him than we've seen in the last couple of games. We know that Thomas Frank develops his forward players into much better players. It seems as like he's working his magic on Richarlison in the small amount of minutes and time that he's had with him. So no, I can't really see us selling him. The only thing that can disrupt him is the injuries. That's what it's going to come down to this season. If we can keep Richarlison fit, I think he can keep that number 9, that starting spot in the team. I really believe it. But it's all going to come down to if we can keep this guy fit. Because, like I've said on a number of occasions, I don't think it's been a quality issue with Richarlison, even though these two have been probably two up there in both of them top 5 ever performances for Tottenham Hotspur. But I don't think it's been a quality issue. We know he can get goals on regularity. He's shown that already under previous managers. It's just about the fitness issue for me.
Yeah, and that's always going to be a question mark until he proves it. But if we can keep him fit and keep him playing like this, everyone's going to fall in love with him again, and everyone's going to be delighted to have him. And I think it creates great competition between him and Solanke for that starting spot. And I think for me, if they're both fit and healthy, we've got two very good strikers there, in my opinion. I know they're not Haaland level or Isaac level, but there are two very good strikers who can both get goals for us and both offer different things. So I'm happy with them as our strikers if they're both fit, in my opinion.
Get Eze around him, get Savinho around him, both of them. They're going to bag goals this season.
It's the supply.
I want to give 2 shout-outs as well. One to Lucas Bergvall, who I thought played a really good game today, working in those tight areas, beating his man, driving up the pitch, and Mickey van de Ven. I thought Mickey van de Ven, it wasn't the greatest display from Cuti Romero today, and he did make a couple of mistakes, but every time he did, Mickey van de Ven was there to sweep up for him and get him out of trouble. So, and you even saw that little marauding run towards the end. And I said to you in the preview, are we going to see a Son-style goal from Mickey van de Ven? It wasn't quite a goal. He didn't get close to goal, but I thought for 1 second, is he doing the Puskas here?
You thought maybe, is he capable? He's definitely capable of it. Van de Ven, there was that one moment, wasn't there, in the first half where Romero gives a sloppy pass away. They then play a through ball to Foster, and you're thinking, oh, God, are they going to, score against run of play? But Van de Ven's there to bail us out, as he always is, that safety blanket, as we like to call him, and he was absolutely top-notch today. I thought, previously in the pre-season, out of the two, Romero's probably been the better of the two, but today I thought Van de Ven was imperious. Phenomenal performance from him. Bergvall, I thought, grew into the game as well. Started quite quiet, I felt, but as soon as he was getting on the ball, and there was just that one moment he just takes the ball, strides away from one of the Burnley players, and they just couldn't keep up with him. And I think at that moment he kind of realised they can't keep up with him if I can just get a little bit of space, and I think that let him grow in confidence, and he started to really strike stuff at times as well. So that was really, really positive. Overall, I think if we're looking at it as Frank's first game as well, first game in the Premier League as Tottenham manager, I think he rotated, the fact that he rotated like he did, going into the game, the lineup were a lot of question marks about how suited this lineup was to the opposition, all these kind of things, and playing a very young midfield 3 in a Premier League game of Gray, Bergvall and Sarr, how would they cope, that kind of thing, lack of creativity. And also following the fact that first half didn't exactly blow anyone away, and it was quite difficult to watch. I think he found solutions in that second half. He found different answers to what Burnley were offering. He rotated really, really fantastically as well. Brought on, made subs when he needed to, used all his subs, which I really like. I think that's a criticism maybe of Ange. You can say I think he didn't use his subs often enough. When you got 5 subs, you got to make sure you're freshening it up, and I think he did that as well. And I think he made some in-game tweaks, which was really, really effective. And he got us a really comfortable win in the end, where at times it looked like this was going to be a difficult day. Ended up a really comfortable routine win. So I think it was an impressive first outing for Thomas Frank.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't complain with the 3-0 win, no matter who it's against. You know, you're looking at West Ham, they lost 3-0 to Sunderland today. So can't take anything as a given in the Premier League. So I am delighted with the first game. Bigger test yet to come. Obviously, we play Man City away next week, and I assume we'll probably go back to a back three and be very hard and disciplined and hard to play against. But it just shows, you know, Thomas Frank can move it up, change it up regarding who the opposition is. We're all wondering before this game, you know, it's going to take a very different performance to beat this Burnley side as opposed to what we've seen in pre-season, playing the likes of PSG, Bayern Munich, Arsenal and Newcastle. And yeah, it wasn't pretty at times, but we got the job done. We scored the goals. Could have had potentially a few more as well. So I'm very happy the way it's gone, the way it started under Thomas Frank. And long may it continue.
Oh, well.
And big up to Richarlison, by the way.
100%.
Big up to Richarlison. Prue.
And what's even sweeter, you had halfway through the game, you have Mohamed Kudus showboating with little flicks and tricks and whatever. And then over in Sunderland, they're losing 3-0. West Ham, the club that they didn't care about losing. They weren't bothered about it. But they're losing 3-0 up in Sunderland, and Kudus is doing showboating while we're leading 3-0 against Burnley. So that definitely made the whole day sweeter. And I do, yeah, in terms of just quickly on Kudus, fantastic Premier League debut for him. Couple of assists on his right foot as well. Was a constant menace for us today. So really, really great debut from him. Really glad from what I saw, and he just showed what he's going to offer us, I think, long term today. And I just can't wait to get him around some of the players like Sevilla and Eze if they are to come, because I just think that's going to elevate him even more. So exciting. Yeah, very exciting time to be a Spurs fan with the Thomas Frank era now up and running. They told us that he weren't going to win in his first 6 games, you know, for... I was preparing myself for that. I was preparing myself for a long one. You know what I mean? For Bromby, for Brentford. No wins in the first 6, but with Spurs, he's come in and banged out a 3-0 in his first competitive game in charge. Joint top of the league. Yeah, Spurs are joint top of the league with Sunderland after the 3-0 wins. And I'm delighted. And yeah, roll on next weekend. Man City away. We'll see how that goes. But let us know your thoughts of the game in the comments section below. And that is our take on the 3-0 win against Burnley in the first game of the Premier League campaign. Now it is your chance to have your say. And it's only fitting on Frank's first game that we get the spiritual leader of the Frankish clan. And he goes by the name of Mr. Brian Gagool, he's going by today. Gagool, he's got a gag in order. You can't talk on Frank today.
Apparently so. Apparently, good afternoon, please. Good afternoon, everyone that is in the chat. And like I say, it's Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank. And I'm absolutely been. Divine has always scored a cracker today. Life good.
Yeah, life is good, Brian. And as leader of the Frankish movement, how did that performance and that scoreline make you feel today?
I mean, listen, it was incredible. Like I agree with a lot. He's in the first half. It's a little bit at times, a little bit lackluster. But as Simeon was just saying before, when we saw the lineup and the model changed, especially with Grayberg, Saar midfield. You could see and you could send vibe on social media what he's doing, to see what he's doing. I don't think we've got second gear the whole.
Brian, yeah. your connection is quite poor. You sound very drunk.
That I can be sure I'm not.
Yeah, I know you're not. Let
me see. Let me come out and come back. I'll come out and back.
Okay. We'll try and get Brian.
We'll just wait for him to come on just for a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's for sure. There's no other candidate for man of the match than Richarlison today. What an unbelievable performance. And yeah, big up to everyone in the live chat, by the way. We have got 2,425 people with us, only 232 likes. So everyone go and smash that like for Thomas Frank's first win and first game as Tottenham manager. Really a joy to behold. Just smashing a few goals past an opponent in the Premier League. Like, what could be better than that?
Exactly. Perfect day, perfect win. Nothing to complain about. It was. That's how you get started. That's how you get underway, as your first game in charge. Nice, comfortable 3-0 win. Couldn't have gone much better, really.
Yeah. The other games of today, obviously, Aston Villa drew 0-0 with Newcastle, with Villa going down to 10 men, Konsa getting sent off. Brighton drawing 1-1 with Fulham. Brighton going 1-0 in the 1-0 lead with an O'Reilly penalty, and then Rodrigo Muniz scoring right at the death. Sunderland 3, West Ham 0 on the first game of the season, and pressure is already mounting on Mr. Graham Potter. But the most important game, everyone knows, great performance from Tottenham Hotspur, particularly in the second half. And hopefully it's a sign of things to come against these teams that are going to come and try and sit and frustrate us. You know?
Absolutely, and I think we've obviously didn't have to rely on set pieces today, which is obviously really, really great, which is something that I've complained about so far in pre-season. I mean, I wouldn't say we were so creative today, but at least it wasn't just set pieces. We had other tricks up our sleeve, Kudus down the right-hand side into Richarlison, and that was something that they couldn't handle as well. So, hopefully, like today, we find solutions.
Well, he's back with us, the leader of the Frankish clan. Let's go see what he has to say for himself. Hopefully we can hear him a bit better. Mr. Brian Daigle, how you doing?
Is it better now?
Much better, yeah, much better.
There we go. So where were we? Yeah, the first half, like you two guys said, it was a bit sluggish at times. It was a bit lackluster, but I don't think we got out of second gear. Loads of changes from Wednesday. There's some first teamers that you would have thought had started.
Yeah.
And we were clinical when we needed to be with that. I mean, the goal. Kudus. All I will say, thank you, West Ham fans, for talking absolute nonsense and getting him out the door. And I hope once you've seen that 3-0 defeat, you go onto your football app, look at the Spurs score and see assist Kudus, man of the match Kudus. He was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, he was. And such quality in the crossing, particularly for the overhead, for the scissor kick goal from Richarlison. And you can see just what he's going to bring us to this in a Spurs shirt. It's not just what he's doing in an attacking output, but I thought his defensive work rate, particularly in the first half when Burnley were on top of us a little bit, that's what he's going to bring as well, isn't it?
He brings fight, spirit, determination, grit, pace, power, show. But I mean, we can run attributes off. I just think for a debut, and like you said, those two crosses, if he can strike up a relationship with Richarlison, and then you add, like you said, the potential incomings around him for quality, my God, it's looking rosy, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of, Richarlison, I don't know, I can't remember what your stance was going into the summer, whether you wanted to keep him or not, but where are you now with him after today's performance? And do you think, whether you want him to stay or not, do you think he's staying now after, today?
I think you look at it, Sim, he's got to keep fit. That's always the issue with him, isn't it? That's always the issue. We saw against PSG, we will probably say it's one of his best games in a Spurs shirt, his hold-up play and his touch, which has been very wonky at times. But he was great at PSG, and his hold-up play and everything. I mean, what I did love with him as well, forget the goals, is his involvement in the build-up for Johnson's goal. Yeah. On the halfway line, that just putting the ball down, flicking it over someone, releasing it to Sasa Toure. Geez, what is going on with that guy? Jesus. The Frank Revolution is real, Beagle. I think it's all. I was at the season, Sim, to answer your question, that I think he's got to go and we'll get another striker in. But you see him scoring goals like that. He hasn't really had the service since he's been here, has he? That second goal was like he scored in the World Cup for Brazil.
Yeah.
And if you can get in the service, which we've just seen Mohamed Kudus will provide, then you add the potential of Eze and Savio or Savinho, whatever the name he goes by. Then there's going to be chances that he'll put away. It's always about his fitness with Richie, isn't it? Always.
Yeah. Look, if we can keep him fit, he will bang goals for us. He's been doing every time he is fit, he scores pretty much last season. So I have no doubt in my mind that if we can keep him fit over the course of the season, then that need for a number 9, in my opinion, goes dramatically down. But you just mentioned him there just before, Sasa Toure, Pat Matasar. I mean, look, we were waxing lyrical about him all pre-season. Now he's come down into the Premier League. He's a threat on goal. Had his hand in 2 of the goals that we scored, because don't forget, in the first goal, it was him that won the ball back and sprayed it out to Mohamed Kudus. That got Richie his first goal. So, I mean, this guy is just going from strength to strength, isn't he?
He is, but you know what? And there's managers that can get the best out of players. And regardless what you think of Frank or previous managers gone by, during this game today, you could just see there was a plan. The shape of the team was brilliant. There was always a pass on. There was always an option. And Sarr was the heartbeat of that. Sarr literally was in the middle of the park. He was here, there and everywhere. And he's just an engine. And Thomas Frank has already done a wonderful job with him. Because, like you said, last season he did go down, but that was with a lot of the players due to injuries, due to a host of things. But I think if you were to look at the players that we had last season and have got into this season, I think he is the one that's developed the most already under Frank by far.
Yeah, along with Richarlison, I think them two, you mentioned Kudus being man of the match. For me, it was like hands down Richarlison, like the hold-up play, the passing, the finishing. His performance was absolutely perfect today.
Well, you look at I think, you could say Sarr, you could say Kudus, you could say Richarlison, Bergvall, Porro was good. Porro was very good, actually, sorry. There was a host of players that actually put in look, it's the first game of the season, so it's always nice to get it over the line, but 3 goals, 3-0, clean sheet, not out of second gear. Players like Bentancur, Paulinho, and others on the bench, Solanke. More hopefully coming in the 2 that we really hope for. What a way to start a season.
Yeah. Brian, there are now reports saying Frank was so blown away by today's performance, we don't need Eze and Savinho anymore.
I'm sure that's absolutely that's come out of that's Simeon tier 3006, yeah.
But you just think about getting them into this team, with that what you saw today as well, how much that could really elevate us. It's just so important we get these deals done, isn't it?
Oh, Sim, it's so important. But also, if you look at it, as Ben and you were saying as well, he went 3-5-2 to nullify Paris Saint-Germain because of what they had. He went back 4-2-3-1 with this today. You would imagine he goes back 3-5-2 to, and I love what you said, Simeon, about using the substitutions wisely and smartly. There will be a real crux of players that are going to get regular game time. And if Frank can keep tinkering with what he does there, he's going to have options, isn't he? And could you imagine if it was like an Eze, Solanke, Paulinho on the bench on one game to come on and need to change the game? You'd feel so comfortable or confident that things would happen. It's exciting times.
It really is exciting times. Talk to me a bit about Brennan Johnson. What did you make out of his performance today? Because obviously gets his goal, top quality goal at that as well. But, we were sitting here kind of criticising him at half-time, but he does what he does, pops up with the goal.
He does. You know what we were talking about in the Scotland Yard? And we're thinking at one point, if it wouldn't have done well to have Kudus run in at Kyle Walker and give Johnson on the right, so then he might feel more comfortable and be at that far post, because he was pretty non-existent in that first half. But then, like you said, Brennan Johnson does what Brennan Johnson does. It weren't a far post tapping. It was a lovely finish, wasn't it? Yeah. Lovely build-up. This is the thing. In this game, there were moments of you could see the play that they were trying to do, couldn't you? You could see it was slow, then bang, let's go for a counter-attack. And Johnson took his goal really well. But again, he just didn't offer much on the left for the team, did he? But when he was needed, the boys are back of the net, 3-0.
Confident for next weekend, going up to Man City?
Mate, first of all, Spurs do what they do against City. And as I said to you, people don't understand or think that this is just me being happy because of... I am ecstatic with Frank. I'm absolutely... I am so delighted with Frank. I am going to be on a season-long party cheering his great name. Like I said, first line of defence, I am so ecstatic we've got him. And forget the pre-season and lack of quality which was there. The games that mattered, PSG, all right, the result weren't right, but Burnley, you can see the football, you can see the shape, you can see the plan. I love even with the subs when they're all talking to all the coaches when they come off. You can see them just... I'm just so supremely happy that we got the manager I wanted. I honestly believe he will lead us on to good things, great things even. And we've got a very special manager and good times are ahead. So uber-duper confident.
Big up, Brian. Thanks for coming on today, my friend, as always. And
Always,
we shall
Tom.
speak to you soon.
Thomas, Frank. Thomas, Frank. Thomas.
Come on, Brian.
And that is a very happy Brian Daigle, everyone. And next up, I'm sure will be an equally ecstatic Mr. George Orton. Yes, George, how's it going, my friend?
What a start. What a start to the season. That was awesome. Smiling still.
I know. What did you make out of the performance on a whole? Because it was getting a bit frustrating at times in that first half. What did Frank change to swing the game in our favour in that second?
I think in the second half we were playing the possession a little bit more with passing it around and not trying to force it forwards. But I got to say it before I forget. There was a moment in the first half where I was watching Brennan Johnson. I was quite critical of him. I don't like him down the left. But he went up against Walker, and I didn't know he had strength like that. He just completely bodied him off the ball.
He did, yeah.
Oh, that's just playing in my head ever since. And it's like, I still don't think he's a right fit down the left wing. But I think we should be all right. If we do bring in Savinho, I think we should push him into a central sort of third attacker. So we've got options between Solanke, Richie and him. Because I think he'll be phenomenal through the middle with those two either side of him.
Yeah. You know what? That's something that me and Sim were discussing prior to the season starting. Like, where does Brennan Johnson actually fit in this system?
Yeah.
And we were saying, probably the most central role is probably where he fits in the best. But, we were knocking him as well through the first half and at half-time, but he pops up with a goal. He pops up with a goal from the left-hand side and a really top-quality one at that as well.
He does what he does best, stays a ghost the whole game and then just pops up with a goal when you need a third. Like, that was brilliant. What a run.
Yeah, and talking about Kudus on the other side, obviously 2 assists on his Premier League debut. You think about these kind of games when you've got a team looking to frustrate you, like Burnley, and you got Kudus on the right who was just able to, on a couple of occasions, beat his man, get the ball in, and with good quality, and we got a couple of goals out of it. You think back to last season, how many times we just weren't able to do that because we just didn't have a player like Kudus who could beat his man so effortlessly like he was today. So you just saw today, didn't you, what Kudus is going to bring to this team, especially against these kind of teams that we face today.
Oh, 100%. That Richie's second goal, that was something straight out of City, Liverpool, Barcelona playbook. The way Kudus just sort of knocked it past the defender, and then that finish from Richie. What a goal! What a goal! I gave him I'm doing. It's quite autistic of me, but I'm doing you know how you guys do your player ratings. I've got a spreadsheet with my own player ratings for this season. Okay. As soon as that went in, he's 10 out of 10, man of the match, everything. Loved it.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that about his game today, though, Richarlison as well. Talk to me about Richarlison's game, because I thought in every aspect he was pretty much near perfect today.
Oh, yeah, as I said, I rarely give 10. I always try and find little things that they can improve on. But for Richie, I don't think there was. The drop in deep, the holding up of play, even for the ball that Sarr played through for Brennan's goal. He was the one holding up the play, and he passed it off to Sarr, who obviously played it through. But I never knew he had that in his locker. He almost looked like a better, up front holder of the ball than Solanke is, and that's the whole reason we bought him in last season, I thought, was to hold up the play when we're countering and going forwards. But I've seen Richie do that a lot better than I've seen Solanke do that since he's played for us.
Yes.
So where are you at the moment, with Richie? Is he definitely staying now for you? Because there's rumours of him leaving. Do you think, can he leave now after scoring a brace on the opening day?
I think I don't put anything past Levy to make some money off of anyone, but I think probably if we hadn't sold him before the final in midweek, for me, that was the sort of cut off. If he stays for that game, he stays for the season. And I don't think he wants to leave. And I think that's going to be a big part of it. Whereas, like, if you look at Biss, even though he says he doesn't want to leave, he doesn't really fit in. We bought in replacements for him. I think maybe if we were to bring in a replacement up front, but again, I don't see the need to if we can prioritise a number 10 and a left winger like Savinho and Eze. I think we'd be stupid to let him go. And I've said throughout the whole time he was with Everton and it was Watford before that, wasn't it? I have always said I don't like him. I think he's so overrated. I'm eating humble pie today because he has just shown me what he's capable of. And I think we'd be silly to not at least hold on to him until January.
Yeah, another player that's showing us what he's capable of at this moment in time after what I would say a fairly poor season last year is Pape Matar Sarr. I mean, what a pre-season he's had, and he started off the season just as he was playing in pre-season. Talk to me about his performance and what were you most impressed by with him today?
Pressing. His constant pressure on their sort of back midfield and back line, just trying to win the ball back. It was the same with PSG, same with all the pre-season games. Just constant pressure in their faces, and that sort of, it screams Frank Ball to me. I nearly called it Ange Ball then. It screams Frank Ball, and I love it. I think he's so perfectly suited to this squad and this team and this manager and the style of play that we want to play. I can see him being our player of the season, and in fact, I did put him as going to be our player of the season in my predictions.
Wow, that's a big prediction. But in terms of just Thomas Frank himself, his first game we got to see in the Premier League under his management, what were your key takeaways, with his role today?
Clean sheet was the biggest takeaway for me. Clean sheet and scoring 3. Again, being an attacker myself, very much, when I used to play football, I was an attacker. I don't like the fact of taking your foot off the gas when they're 3-0 up. That's what I loved about Ange Ball, but I mean, we're 3-0 up, might as well hold on to the clean sheet. And I genuinely, there wasn't a single thing that I can knock of today, and a lot of that is down to Frank and how he managed the game. Subs he brought on, I thought they came on at the right times for the right players. So yeah, nothing I can say bad about him, only good stuff.
Yeah, and with the talk of Eze and Savinho potentially getting closer, I mean, how mouth-watering is it of the prospect of adding these two to this team right here under Thomas Frank?
Right, this might be a bit deluded of me, but if we bring them in, we're winning the league. I don't care.
Oh, he said it! He said it!
It's very deluded.
Someone had to put the neck on the line. All jokes aside, I don't think we'll win the league, even if we do bring them in, but he's so promising. But same as the Morgan Gibbs-White saga, I'm not getting my hopes up until I see them sign the contract or wearing the shirt.
Exactly. No here we go is going to get you excited this time. You have to see him holding the shirt.
100%, especially for Eze, because like even before Morgan Gibbs-White and even during the saga of Gibbs-White, I wanted Eze over him. Ben was close to swaying my opinion on that. But yeah, I always wanted Eze to come in, so I don't want to get my hopes up because I know how much I'll be crushed if that falls through now. But it's looking more and more likely. I think it will happen.
Yeah. So look, first game, first win, 3 goals, 3 points, double assist for Kudus, double goal for Richarlison, and Pape Matar Sarr involved in a couple as well. So it couldn't have gone much better, as you said. But George, thank you for coming on today, mate.
No worries.
Cheers, George. Lovely to see you.
Come on, you.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, George.
Frank said Basuma picked up an injury
of course he did.
Training yesterday.
Of course he did.
Which is why he was unavailable.
Miraculous injuries, just like Savinho.
Exactly. He also said on Richarlison, he said it's fair to say he hasn't played in every game in the past 3 to 4 years, so we need to be smart with him. There are various ways. It could be to come off in games after a certain amount of time, or come off the bench, or to play 5 games in a row. I don't know how the last one is
or
smart.
To play 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
It sounds like a dangerous game to me.
So you either be really careful or you just play him 5 games in a row. I'm quite confused with that. I don't know if he's making a joke or not.
Barry Jones with the super chat says, dream end to the window would be Savinho, Eze, and Rory Delap.
And Rory Delap.
Wouldn't mind if it was
Yeah,
long
I know.
throws,
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
know what
mind.
I mean?
Yeah, could do with a long throw specialist.
All right, let's move on to our next guest. It is Ross, people. How you doing, Ross?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. There is
Yeah.
a new era that was born today. The Kudus Richarlison era is on. Oh my God.
Ross, they're calling it Prudus.
Prudus, that'll work too. Prudus. That sounds good.
Mate,
like
but
it,
their
I like
link
it.
up today was absolutely sensational.
I mean, Richarlison, Frank needs a bonus for that, for unlocking that dude. I mean, Jesus. I mean, you could, if you could take the footage of him from this game and put it up as in, this is how you play striker.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a complete performance. The hold up and those finishes. I mean, my God. And that's what we needed, as we know. You got to get the ball into the box for guys like that. I mean, what we say for years about Harry Kane, death taxes and get the ball to Harry Kane in the box, he'll score. Any striker. And we just haven't had that service in. And Kudus is just pure box office, man. That guy is just get you out of your seat. We haven't had someone like that in a long time. And it's just really, really exciting to see that.
Yeah. How do you assess the game then overall, Ross? Because there were times where it was a bit stodgy in that first half. We were struggling to really create moments. But do you think today was a game won in moments, or was it a kind of? Did you see a real team kind of system that you felt like got us through?
Yeah, some of both, mostly the latter. But yeah, I mean, it was sloppy at times. But again, you got to keep in mind, first game. New coach, new system. You're going to have those things. And yeah, I was, we all had a little PTSD from Wednesday, when we were like, here we're going up on the front. But they did. We came out in the second half, got after them again. And just how the team is organized and pressing and together, there's always an option somewhere. I mean, that's the great thing about Frank. He's not like, this is my system, you got to fit it. He says, okay, what players do I have? What are they good at? What positions can I put them in to get them maximize what they can do and help the team? And you can see that. And these guys are playing in positions they're comfortable in playing in. Like Sarr, I mean, he's a Pape Matar menace, I was calling him. And, I mean, he's just everywhere, here, there, everywhere. Just a different player. So many guys are just looking totally different than they did last season.
Yeah, and when you talk about the manager, right, I'm looking at the last couple of managers in Ange, Conte, Mourinho. And I felt like with Mourinho and Conte, it was too far one way in the defensive aspect. With Ange, it was probably too far the other way in terms of the attacking aspect. I think Frank is going to be, a nice little blend of both.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we need. We need that blend of both. We need that balance. And you could see we were pressing so well. I hadn't seen us press so well in a long time than we did today. I mean, I just remember one time going, that's a press. That's how you press, right there. I mean, it was just, we would be aggressive in the press, but then we also would be back. I mean, sometimes the ball came over the top, and again, we get that, PTSD, but guys dealt with it so well. Mickey Van der Racer, I call that guy. I mean, he's just back there sweeping everything up, and it's really, really nice to see.
We've been asking people about Richarlison, because he's been rumored to be leaving this summer. Is he a definite stay for you now?
I think so. I mean, again, as we all know, it's the health, it's the fitness. Can he stay fit? We know what he can do, and he really seems to be thriving. And Frank has got him playing in positions that he's comfortable playing in. Yeah, I don't think you can do anything with him now. And Frank bringing him out too was smart. You see, he kind of picked up a little bit of a knock there, and then he pulled him, which I thought was very smart because he knows his injury. How susceptible he is to injury, so it's better to not leave him out there and risk that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you spoke about Kudus on his Premier League debut as well today. Like, what did you see today? What exactly he's going to bring to this team? Something we've been missing for a long time. That pure ability just to take people on.
Take people on, beat his man, keep the ball alive. That's another thing that he does so well. We haven't had guys that can finish through that contact, keep that ball moving, find somebody else, keep the attack going. I mean, how many times did, one little thing our attack dies, and he does that, and just so good. I didn't realize how good he is as a passer and getting that ball in there to the box. I mean, you could play him at the 10 too, even. at times. I think. I mean, he really has the ability to do that. So that's another little wrinkle you could add there.
Yeah, but look, good day to be a Spurs fan. Not only Spurs winning 3-0, West Ham losing 3-0 as well when they told us, yeah, we're not worried about letting Mohamed Kudus go.
Oh, we don't need him. How about now? but also,
yeah.
if I'm Ezzy and with Savinho right now, I'm calling my agents. Get me to Tottenham right now.
100%.
Get me there. This is where I want to be. I want to be part of this.
Yeah, and it's a mouth-watering prospect thinking about these two coming into Spurs and potentially any others that we can bring in as well. But a good day to be a Spurs fan, Ross. 3-0 win, 3 points, and we move on to Man City next weekend. But thank you for coming on, mate.
As always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up to Ross. We got a super chat here from... Who's it from? From Barry Jones. He says, Richarlison is the sexiest pigeon in Trafalgar Square tonight. He's shitting wherever he wants.
Cool. We used to have a pigeon living up here. Bring it back. Bring back the pigeon. Update here from Sally Mockbell on Eze.
Yeah.
Saying Tottenham to accelerate move to sign Palace forward Eberechi Eze within 48 hours, positive developments and deal within reach, but still work to be done. Eze inclusion versus Chelsea in doubt. So he's following on to a lot. So it seems to be the consensus with a lot of journalists that deal was really close, and his inclusion against Chelsea looks like he's not going to be playing tomorrow. So all eyes will be on that squad, I think, that lineup when it comes out
Absolutely.
tomorrow.
I think more Spurs fans are going to be looking into that lineup than Palace fans and Chelsea fans, to be honest. But yeah, we just got the Man City game on here in the background. Haaland's just missed a pretty much an open goal. But let's move on. Our next guest is Mr. Nate Robinson. Nate, how's it going, my friend? First game of the Frank era up and running. 3-0, 3 points. Talk to me.
I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm brilliant, mate. I'm absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, guys. And wow. What a game from Spurs, man. And listen, I don't want to pour like cold water on the fire or whatever, but it is only Burnley. But still, man, I'm so hyped. Thomas Frank Ball. Fantastic, man. I'm so hyped. What a game, honestly.
Yeah, it was tough at times, wasn't it? Especially in the first half. But what do you think he did in the second half that, got us over the line?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, maybe it was like a halftime talk. The first half was definitely rough. I think we started out really well, but then as the half went on, we kind of took like our foot off the gas pedal. But I think when it came to the second half, I think we were just like a lot more direct. We were taking a lot more of our chances. And then obviously, Mohamed Kudus. Honestly, West Ham fans, man, I don't know what they were talking about, but Mohamed Kudus looks like an absolute steal. And I've been saying this, and I think that, honestly, Mohamed Kudus could potentially be the Heung-min Son replacement. With enough PR, and if he gets the goals and assists, I think he could become the replacement. So, yeah, Mohamed Kudus, man, what a player.
I think what West Ham's are going on about, I think it is just a pure case of serious copium. A serious case of
100%. 100%. And like, if we're looking at like more like tactically, I think another problem was that they were playing him off the left-hand side or as like the striker sometimes, I think, or as a 10. Whereas it's clear his right position is the right wing side, and we're benefiting from that position. So I'm happy with it, man.
Yeah, and he assisted Richarlison twice as well today. Couple of great finishes from Richarlison. Talk to me about what you felt of his performance.
Yeah, with Richie, I think it's like what we've been seeing for the past couple of games where his hold-up play is just, in my opinion, it's just better than Solanke's right now. And Richarlison is a player in form. And the big thing with Richie, I know it's been said a lot, but it's about keeping Richie fit. If Richie can stay fit, then he's a player that I want at Spurs. It's just about keeping him fit. That's the problem. So when it comes to Richarlison, man, that finish that we saw, what a goal. It's reminiscent of that goal he scored for Brazil in the World Cup in 2022. So that's what I thought of that goal immediately. I was just like, wow, Richarlison has the potential to get these goals, these wonder goals out of nowhere. So it's just about keeping him fit, man. But what a performance. His hold-up play, amazing. The way he was laying it off, his movement, his pressure, his pressing, everything. What a game from Richarlison. And Solanke, this guy got to watch out, man, because his spot is being taken. But I think a competition between Solanke and Richarlison is something that we can benefit from greatly. So super happy with it.
I agree. But do you think Tottenham have made their decision about him in terms of this summer now?
Well, I think some news came out about Richarlison rejecting bids from multiple clubs this summer. So I think with Richie, it's more so he made his decision. I don't think we really get a say in that for the most part. But no, I think he's gonna stay, and I think if he keeps performing that the way he's gonna keep performing, then I think he has a spot in this team. And with us being linked to Eze and Savino, I don't know if there's enough time for us to really circle back and find a new striker. And I don't even know who else we would target. So I think Richie will stay. I think he'll stay.
Yeah.
And talk to me about Big Pape. My God, this man is going from strength to strength, isn't he?
Yeah, Pape Sarr, man. I think with him last season, he was just underwhelming. But this was a big season for him because he hasn't really been his best self for a while. So he had to announce himself. And I think this season, he's doing a fantastic job to doing that. So Pape Sarr, the way the second balls that he wins is just fantastic. And his pressure, his tackles, he's just all over the place. I think the only grip that I have with Sarr, I think that we saw it a couple times, and I think specifically towards Tell at the end of the game, where he could have played the ball first time and Tell would have been off, but he held onto the ball for too long, and then he played the ball too far for Tell. But with Sarr, man, the legs, this guy, he's undroppable right now. He is undroppable. He's a mainstay in this team.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Really is. But, he's been playing in, well, he wasn't today. I think Bergvall was playing in the more number 10 role, but when we bring in all our signings and Eze, you expect him to be in a central area. So what's our strongest starting midfield? Is it Paulinho, Sarr, and Eze, if we do bring in Eze?
Well, I think the answer is that
to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, I think the answer is
Bergvall.
I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not Thomas Frank, because the answer is there's no set 11. I think it's just going to depend on the game for what we need. In games that we need to soak up pressure and just sit back, I think it's Paulinho. And then in games where we need to be more front-footed, I think it's like an Eze, a Sarr, maybe like a Bergvall or like a Bentancur in there. But honestly, for me right now, if I had to pick one, say we bring in Eze, I'd say Eze, Sarr, and a Bentancur. Honestly, I think that's probably our strongest. I think it gives us the most balance and it gets the attacking.
And talking about Frank, what do you think you learned today from his first Premier League game in charge? What would you say, with how he managed the game? What takeaways would you take away from him?
Well, when it comes to Frank, I think in all areas of the pitch, we can see that he's trying to gain an advantage everywhere, whether it's from long throw-ins, set pieces, everything. Like, he's trying to gain an advantage everywhere. And I think what people thought about Frank when he was first coming in was the fact that, oh, he's going to be like a little bit more defensive, or we're going to be boring again. But we're seeing now that Frank has the eye for taking risks. He has the eye for being attacking. It's just about getting the link-ups to come off, but it'll come with time. But I think when it comes to Frank, yeah, you can see what he's trying to do all over the pitch, how he relies on a guy like Kudus, how he wants to get those balls into Kudus all the time and those crosses in. So I think my only thing is that I think when it comes to Thomas Frank, we got to figure out how to work out the link-up play. And it is a little bit of cross and pray sometimes, but I think it'll come with time.
Nate, always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys so much.
See you after hopefully a 3 points at Man City next weekend.
I will be there. We will be there. We will be there.
Big up, Nate. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Talking about Man City, or they just? I think Wolves just scored, but maybe it's offside. Let's see. Pretty sure they just scored. Is it offside?
Who's it? Manetzi.
Yeah, he's well offside. Well offside.
All right, let's move on to the last caller of the day. He goes by the name of Tom. How's it going, Tom? Happy?
What's up, lads?
Happy?
Oh, no, you're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
Wow, what can I say? Mohamed Kudus, baller.
Absolute baller.
How are we feeling?
You tell me how you're feeling, my friend. We are very happy here in the studio. But talk to me. What are your thoughts on the performance today?
Oh, I was just saying about Mohamed Kudus. I was just asking the West Ham fans how are they feeling about about losing such a talented player. I mean, what's he doing? He's doing bloody Neymar touches on the wing. What the hell is going on? We didn't see that last season, but now we finally got a winger who can actually take on his man and put a bloody cross in.
Yeah.
Which is something to be really happy about. But yeah, really great performance today. I thought, it's nice to have a rotation in the midfield. Last season we were sort of on a bare 11, and now we've got a rotation and Gray's playing in his natural position. I thought Bergvall looked brilliant, and obviously that Richarlison goal. Whew. I mean, that was back the years with the World Cup. I mean, what a goal that was. I mean, yeah, that was absolutely sensational. And then obviously with the news of Eze coming in, it could be a great day for Tottenham Hotspur. But yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, everyone's talking about that Richarlison's second goal, and it's kind of taken, and quite rightly so, because it's an unbelievable goal, but it's kind of taking the shine off the first goal a little bit, because even the first goal, like, if you take the second goal out of it, even that was a bloody brilliant goal.
I know, it was almost Harry Kane-esque. It was literally like instinctive finishing, which is what we've sort of been lacking from Richarlison. But he's really, past 2 games, he's turned it on. His hold-up play's been brilliant. He's been bringing players into play, and like, and just sort of to add the options of the wing play, if we potentially get Savinho, Eze, and Kudus, that's like, technically speaking, that is a frightening attack. I mean, come on, that's like, you know, much more improvement on what we were last year.
Yeah, you know, we were struggling a bit in the first half. But what do you think Frank got right in the second half, which got us that 3-0 win?
I thought that he deployed Sarr in a way that we could just sort of, we were waiting to pounce Burnley, and Sarr was just deployed like in the PSG game. Sarr just kept winning that ball back, you know, making the right decisions, making the right passes, and Kudus as well. I go back to saying Kudus, but like, Jesus Christ, like his pressing, his tenacity, like everyone was like in on it. You could see like everyone wanted that. They were dying for that clean sheet, you know, and I think that's like the difference, because sometimes with Ange last season we'd concede late on with the fullbacks being pushed up and whatnot. But I thought it was a very, very professional performance, and you know, what can I say? Prue.
When you're looking forward now going into the season, you know, how are you feeling about the season now? 3-0 win against Burnley. Bigger tests obviously yet to come, but how well do you think we can do this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Frank's sort of tactical awareness, I think we're going to be a lot more solid defensively, which is a good positive. I loved the PSG game, that sort of Danzo long throw, you know, the small marginal gains that you can sort of get with Thomas Frank and set pieces and stuff like that. I think we're going to be really hard to beat sort of defensively. I think we're going to build from that. And when we add players, if the transfer window goes as we hope it does, we can only pray. I mean, Daniel Levy, as long as I see him in that shirt, you know, that's all I'm going to care about, because all these articles coming out with all the guys saying, oh, it's edging closer. No, I'm just going to wait, turn my phone off, wait until he's in that shirt, Eze and Savinho, and that'll be it. That's when I'm happy.
If we do get these players over the line and potentially a Hincapié or one more, can Spurs push them to break the top 4 this season?
That's a hard thing to say. I mean, we beat Burnley, we can't get ahead of ourselves too much, but I think, why not? With that quality of players, and you know, if we can sort of adapt to each game, why not? But you know, it is Burnley. Let's hold it back, Spurs fans. Let's hold it back. It's Burnley, like we said. Let's calm it down. But yeah, we'll see what happens against City, and then whatever happens against City, we could then get much more excited, I think.
All right, Tom, thanks for calling in today,
Cheers,
my friend. Good to chat to you.
All the best.
One, Tom.
Cheers, mate. All right, and that is the end of the fan show, people. What do you reckon of that? If we do bring in these players, can we push the top 4?
I still think 5th is our ceiling. I don't know about, I mean, who falls out that top 4? I just can't see anyone falling out of it. I really think, I've said it from the start, that 5th place is up for grabs, 100%. There's no one in that 5th place who I think, if we don't get the right signings, we can't finish above. Right, there's that's going to be an open race, but at 4th place, unless we think maybe Chelsea could, or maybe even Arsenal, I can't see Liverpool falling out. I can't see City falling out, especially if Liverpool get Isaac, you know, still, which is in the pipeline. I think even with Eze and Savinho, I still think 4th might be a stretch too far, to be honest. But I think right now, 5th. I'm not sure about, but if we get Eze and Savinho, I'm thinking 5th, we can get that for sure.
Yeah, I think our main competitor for 5th is Manchester United this season, in my opinion, with the signings that they've brought in, 1 game a week as well. Ruben Amarin's had a pre-season, they're looking a lot fitter. I think they're going to be, you know, our biggest kind of competitor for that position. But I'm looking at the squads, and I'm assuming that we bring in these players. I'm looking at the squads, I think we've got the strongest squad. I think we've got the strongest starting 11 as well.
And also like one injury to Cunha or Mbeumo, and then all of a sudden who they got behind? Not much. And we've got actually decent
They
depth.
can put like an Ahmad up there.
Yeah, but he's been playing right wing back at the moment, which and I think they got quite a good starting 11 on paper, but after that, it's not particularly impressive.
It's true, but obviously we've got a lot more games than them.
That's the thing. With one game a week, you might be able to get away with it.
Yeah. But look, it's one game. Tom's exactly right. We shouldn't be getting ahead of ourselves at this current moment in time.
It won't stop us, though.
Because it is, look, it's a great win, but it is against Burnley, a team that have just got promoted. Bigger tests, particularly next weekend against Manchester City. And we'll see you all there, people. But we'll be back in the studio tomorrow to go even deeper and delve even deeper into the game, which I'm very much looking forward to. But thank you, everyone.
Mikey Moore just got an assist on his debut.
Did he? Assist, was it?
Yeah. Got an assist.
0-0.
Yeah.
What an assist.
Got an assist.
Great finish, that.
Great finish.
But yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow, people. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.